of Vesica Pisces in St. Petersburg. Same as in Paris. Notice the Twin Towers and all these also, folks. One to each side. Part 2, the cathedrals. Water is electrically conductive, and the more salty it is, the better it will be to conduct thanks to the sodium and chlorine ions. By applying 2 electrodes, it can generate current and behave like a battery. Free energy, folks. Magnetricity. Also, a movement of charges here, ionic, always induces a magnetic field around the flow. There's paramagnetic, diamagnetic, and ferromagnetic. In the cathedrals, we have a circuit drawn on the ground called a labyrinth. This circuit is generally located under the transept crossing, the crossing of the cross that the cathedrals make, so under the arrow. See this over and over and over again, the same exact designs. Repulsion force. 2 parallel and opposite direction conductive conduits generate a magnetic field that will be of the same direction and maximum on the central line between the 2 conductors. Also note that copper is conductive as well. This is the case in our labyrinth, where the circuit makes successive reversals and thus generates a magnetic field of direction from the bottom to the top and in concentric circles. This circuit is made of salt water in a closed circuit, acting as a battery, and therefore it is sufficient to connect it in a short circuit for its discharge or on a resistor. And that's why the Earth, we have salt water. It's the conductive between the North Pole and the South Circle. The electrolysis of the water creates the alternating current that creates the ether. This is why Tesla was able to tap into it. The organs produce sounds of very specific frequencies, and in a cathedral there's air composed mainly of nitrogen at 71%. Look at those organs, folks. Those massive, they're called opus organs. These nitrogen molecules contain 2 nitrogen atoms with a triple bond that is difficult to separate. However, with a very precise frequency identical to that of bonds, it is possible to dislocate at least one of these bonds and tear off an electron to obtain a nitrogen-charged ion molecule and free electrons.
What does that mean?
We're relearning what our ancients knew. It's very exciting stuff. A molecule can be ionized without necessarily being totally dislocated, but only enough energy is needed to break one of its bonds, here by shock waves due to the sound frequencies. The result is a positively charged ions and free electrons. It's generating power, generating electricity, regenerative. Here the magnetic field created by the labyrinth takes all of its interest. These electrons will be accelerated and will rotate around the magnetic field, and this will prevent recomposition into other elements that require less molecular agitation or entropy for these processes. Why are we never taught this? All you physics teachers. So the electrons cloud will remain stable. Although this cloud will not be of uniform density, because the more electrons there are, the more traffic there will be, and as in a highway traffic jams, there will be areas of low density and areas of high density. The cloud, therefore, takes the form of a propeller. Microwave cavity cathedral. In a cathedral, the cross is composed of 4 cavities, which by rotation of this electron helix produces microwaves. Here we go, radiated energy. These waves will be concentrated and directed towards the antenna called the arrow, which will spread them into the atmosphere and thus produce free energy available to all. Now we know why these spires are in every Tartarian building. They had free energy. A 50 New York buildings that no longer exist. I mean, check these out. This is Madison Square Garden. There's another picture, much more elaborate. The Knickerbocker Trust. It was completed in 1903 and destroyed in 1921, so bigger things can be built. Bigger than this? I mean, is this architecture anywhere around today? Again, this was built from 1905 and then destroyed in the Hippodrome. Again, this is 1883. This was erected with horse and buggy days. Horse and buggy days? Come on. Look at this. The Hotel Astor, 1904 on 44th Street, and then destroyed.